You fought well yesterday. Your style is unorthodox.
Scorpio.
Good morning, Yankees universe, and welcome back to another episode of the Yankees Morning Brew on this Tuesday, October 29th. Always, I'm your guy Hector, joined by my compañeros this morning. I got my guy Ghost, and I got the lovely Grace Monroe. All you Yankee fans, wake up and get your coffee. Grace, talk to me nice. Grace, háblame bien, Grace, por favor.
I have nothing good or nice to say today. This is a warning to everybody watching. Turn down your volume, okay? I don't want to hear anybody saying, oh, Grace is yelling again. Yeah, here's your warning. Turn down your volume, okay? Because this morning, we're going to have a vent session. We're going to have a therapy session. We're going to have a circle up the family and everybody hold each other and let each other just express their feelings. That's what we're going to have today, okay? So I'm doing fucking awful. How are y'all?
I'm doing great. I started out my morning with some Neuro Gum. It's pretty good. You know, nice energy boost in the morning. Helped me to focus. I came home last night. I was sponging some sage. I had to get the negative energy out of the household. First and foremost, shout out to all the Yankee fans that showed up, not only to Yankee Stadium, outside of Yankee Stadium, but to Billy's Sports Bar. It was packed. It was one of the worst fire hazards I ever saw in my life. That amount of people crammed up into one venue. So if you was a Yankee fan that went to Billy's Sports Bar, you know, I hope you're okay and you made it home safe because it was packed in there. But at the end of the day, we got to talk about the Yankees being down 3-0 against the LA Dodgers. Credit to the Dodgers and to their fans. You know, I don't want to say that much. No, but this is what I'm going to say. This is what I'm going to say, Grace, because Dodger fans, they've been calling up bars in New York City and they've been trolling Yankee fans online. And I bring that up to say this. If the roles will reverse, Yankee fans will be just as obnoxious, if not more obnoxious. So I understand how upset we are right now as a fan base, as content creators, but every game you can have an explanation on why we lost here, why we lost there, and why we lost there. Ghost, I'll toss it over to you to get your words. Shout out to the chat as well. We got over 50 people in the building rocking out with us. Whether you're on Instagram, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on Twitter, click the link in the bio. Jump on over to YouTube. Ghost, I'll throw it over to you, and then kick it back over to Grace Monroe. Go ahead, Ghost.
I think as the one thing I'm most proud of being a Yankee fan is that I got to meet you guys. Probably the only thing I'm most proud of, and meeting some of my amazing friends that are Yankee fans, and I know who they know who they are, and it's the only thing I could hold my head high about. And I think you waited 15 years to feel like shit. You waited 15 years to just feel like absolute hot dog water. As a fan, you look back into the series, you look back into the regular season, you look back at everything, and you just sit there and you ask yourself, why did I put myself through this? Just to watch us get swept by the damn Dodgers. For what? And then we can point the finger. Aaron Judge has been horrible. Boone is a moron. Rojas is an even bigger moron.
Oh.
And I apologize for using strong words, Hector. I do apologize. But at the same time, as a Yankee fan, this has to be the most embarrassing feat that you have ever had to experience. Who in the blazes gets swept in the World Series? Nobody. Not that I remember.
The Rockies. I looked it up last night. I said, let me see. When's the last time someone... Oh, the Rockies. That's what the New York Yankees are. The New York Yankees and the Rockies getting swept in the World Series. 2007.
That was 2007. That's the year that A-Rod opted out of his contract during the World Series.
Okay, so then there was another team that got swept. But aside from the Colorado Rockies in 2007, we are now the 2024. We got our faces stomped out by the Dodgers. Yeah. Now, I'm not going to hold anything against the Dodgers. I won't do it because when I see a better team on the field, I see a better pitching team on the field. I see a team with more heart, more determination, more willingness to win. It's the Dodgers. And these games were close. And what upsets me even more is that these games are so close that the Yankees could have made a rally at any given time. But these pitchers came after them like they were executing every player on the team. They were coming after them with everything they had from not only the pitching, the bullpen, delivering everything that they had. And losing in New York hurt like hell. As a Yankee fan, did I want to sit there and watch that? No. Do I even want to watch today's game? No. But I promise you this. I swear to God, if I see Aaron Boone next year, so help me God, I'm going to lose my composure. And the same with Rojas. If I see that man, I'm going to strangle him. And the same with everything else that I'm about
No violence.
No
violence.
This is all just talk. I'm not gonna actually do it, guys. Relax.
It's a metaphor. It's a metaphor.
I'm not gonna go out there and strangle him.
It's metaphorically. Yo, I gotta say. Okay, go ahead, Ghost.
No. I'm just gonna say this, and I the most disappointed I'll be, and I don't care what other Yankee fans say. But do you really blame Juan Soto for not wanting to come back here to this after getting swept in the World Series? Do you really blame that man? Do you really want to sit here and blame that man for saying, you know what? I thought you can do better. I thought this team was better. He sat there and tried to give us what we could have for one good year. And I'll say this about Juan Soto. I will thank him. Because if not for him, we would have not had the spark we had this year. Yeah, we had the Jekyll and Hyde effect. I'll admit to that. We've had our moments of grace and our gracements of failure. We've had our moments where our offense was good, our pitching was good, our defense was good, and then the next half, I don't know where it all went. But I will thank Juan Soto because that man gave this team life that this team did not have. And this team needed it so badly, having a new spark of hope in Juan Soto and this team. Now, will I be sad when he leaves? Absolutely. Because that man did something that most of this team did not have. Well, I want to be optimistic and say with the ifs. But at the end of the day, I do want to thank him because he gave this team hope. He gave a lot of Yankee fans hope, and I'm not going to blame him. I'm not going to blame Giancarlo. I'm not going to blame Luke Weaver. I'm not going to blame Tommy Kahnle.
I gotta say something.
We'll get down to the blame to everybody. Go ahead, Grayson. I'll piggyback. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. We got over 80 people in the building. Guys, smack that like button. Go ahead, Grace. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. I want to respond to what you said, Ghost, with all the love. You know I love you. First of all, the championship is the friends we made along the way, okay? I mean, that was very sweet. How dare you try to soften my resolve today?
You were smiling.
Okay, I know. I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it. So, first of all, I want to say that. Love you. Love everybody in the chat. Love Hector. Love Damien. Come on. I love y'all. Y'all, whatever. But next, what I want to say was, Rojas better be gone. And I do not call for people's jobs. That is something that I just, as a practice, do not do. I don't like it. I'm not in charge, and I don't want to mess with people's money, with people's families, with people's livelihoods, with their career, their reputation. That's not my avenue. That's not my vibe. I don't like to do that. But now I am. Rojas bet to be gone. He has no business at all being a third base coach for the New York Yankees or anybody else for that matter. This is not an isolated incident. This has been going on all season long with him sending the slowest people on our team. You got to know your team. You got to know who can get home from third or from second. For God's sake, Teoscar Hernandez had the ball in his glove, and Giancarlo hadn't even tagged third yet. And you sent him when you know that he's not a fast runner, and that's not a slam on Giancarlo. He is calibrating his speed so he can stay on the field, so he can hit bombs for us, which he did all postseason. More bombs than Babe Herman Ruth, okay? Babe George Herman Ruth, okay? Giancarlo is him. This is not about Giancarlo. It's about Luis Rojas not knowing his team, sending Gleyber Torres, and I'm not slamming Gleyber either. He's been one of the only ones producing in this postseason, but he's slow as Christmas, and that's not a slam on him. That's just a fact. He's slow. Don't send Giancarlo. Don't send Gleyber. Don't send Anthony Rizzo. I don't think he did this season, but this is the type of speed we're talking about on our team. If you don't know that Rizzo can't steal, that he can't go home from third on a short throw, that Giancarlo can't, that Gleyber can't, I'll do it for free. Yankees call me, I'll do it for free, and I will never send them like that. This is crazy, crazy. And everyone's blaming Giancarlo. And I'm like, y'all, he didn't even look. His coach told him to go, and he went as fast as he could. It's not fast, but that's not on him. He had no idea where that ball was. He didn't look in the outfield. He was running. It's not on Giancarlo. It's on Rojas yet again, and he better be gone. I'm serious, and I don't call for people's jobs, but he's got me hot. And then the other thing I wanted to say, Ghost, about what you said, and I'm sure we're going to go around lots of things today, but you said credit to the Dodgers, and I disagree, and I'll tell you why. We're beating ourselves, and that's why I am pissed. That's why I'm so furious and frustrated. Poor fundamentals, which shouldn't be a shock to anyone who's been watching our team all year long. Our bats are nowhere to be found. I'm talking about a slug percentage under 200 for the team if you take out Soto and Stanton. The rest of the team is slugging under 200. The batting average for the team minus Soto and Stanton, 150. 143 actually. 143 in the World Series. And you could say, oh, it's the Dodgers pitching. It's not. They saw 55 fastballs yesterday in the zone. They let them go by. They didn't even swing. At 24 of them, they just took them. They didn't even swing. I thought I was going to lose my mind screaming at the TV, swing! Swing at that! What are you doing? They just stood there. It's like they forgot how to play baseball. And that's not on the Dodgers. That's not on their, pitching. It's on our guys. They were all pressing. They were all expanding the zone. They were making poor swing decisions. They forgot how to play. That's why I'm furious. And Aaron Judge is an absolute no-show. And so to your point, not credit the Dodgers. I mean, credit to the Dodgers for getting to the World Series, sure. But we're beating ourselves. And even still, the games aren't blowouts. They're not putting up 10, 12 runs on us like they did on the Mets. No shade to the Mets.
Yep.
It's not like we're losing the game, in that way. We're barely losing and we're beating ourselves. That's why my heart is broken today. So not credit the Dodgers, to me, in my opinion, goes with much respect and love.
No, you're fine. I just say that because the offense on their side took advantages that we didn't. That's what I was referring it to.
And that's what I wanted to say also, because when I first started, I said credit to the Dodgers and to their fan base. But when you look at it, the Dodgers have taken advantage of the mistakes that the Yankees have made on the field, right? We took advantage of the mistakes the Kansas City Royals made in round one in the ALDS. We took advantage of the Cleveland Guardians and the mistakes that they made in round two in the ALCS. And right now, being down 3-0, and every game, the Dodgers took advantage of the mistakes that the Yankees made. In game one, late in the game, when Jazz Chisholm was on second base, Anthony Volpe had a hit up the middle. Tommy Edman made an amazing play to keep it in the infield so Jazz Chisholm couldn't score. That was the difference maker in that game. And what happened in extra innings? Oswaldo Cabrera couldn't knock down that ball and keep it in the infield. They played good defense. We played that bad defense in game one. That's why we lost. In game two, same thing. We played sloppy defense, sloppy fielding. That's what led to extra pitches being thrown out there. That's what led to extra relievers having to be used, and that's why we lost. And we could pinpoint Nestor Cortez in game one. We could pinpoint to Garrett Cole being taken out of the game at 80. We could pinpoint to all of that. Luis Rojas sending Giancarlo Stanton. We could point that out and say, yes, that was a bad move. But when it's all said and done, the reason why the Dodgers have a 3-game lead and the Yankees have none is the fact that Aaron Judge has been absent. And the first 3 games, Freddie Freeman has hit a home run in every game. What has Aaron Judge done? Struck out 16 times. 16 times or more than 10 times in the World Series. You're not going to win many series. You're not going to win many games when Aaron Judge is performing the way he's performing at the plate. And that's the stark difference of why the Dodgers, they have a 3-0 commanding lead, and the Yankees are trying not to get swept at home. It's embarrassing. And in that first inning, again, shout out to all the Yankee fans that were at Billy's last night. In that first inning, when Freddie Freeman hit that home run, all the energy from the Yankee fans from Yankee Stadium and Billy's was sucked out the room. It was gone. That energy was gone. You know, shout out to Fat Joe coming out there. I seen a lot of people online making fun of Fat Joe, but Fat Joe tried to set the tone. There was some energy. You know, you had the soccer moms from Westchester not knowing the words to his song, but that was pretty cool, right? He set the tone, he set the energy, but Freddie Freeman, he just sucked it out of that room with that 2-run home run. I want to shout out some of the chats real quick. Gregory Wayne is in the building. Gregory, how you doing? My guy Cheesy Soul Case is in the building. Yes, Cheesy Soul Case is a Mets fan. Richie Martinez is in the building. Jacob Petruzzi, how you doing, my guy? Theo AA says, morning, everyone. Did y'all notice I didn't say good? Our pitchers are getting out-pitched. Our hitters out-hit. Our manager is a loyalist to a fault. Should we have at least one freaking win? Hell, yes. Absolutely, AA. I'm not going to disagree with Theo AA. Shout out to Anthony Medina, who is in the building. West End 125 said, it's not over, 2 is over. Salute, salute, salute. 3 capital S. 90 people in the building. Smack that like button. Sorry, I got gum stuck on the top of my mouth. I'm trying to get it out. Sorry about that. But when you look at it, right, in last night's game, Clark Schmidt, we got to start somewhere while having these conversations. We could talk about is Juan Soto leaving us. We could talk about who's to blame for this, but Clark Schmidt, he just didn't have it. And we could blame the umpiring, which was probably the worst umpiring that I've seen while watching a postseason game, let alone the World Series. We can look all that. We got to dissect different things, but Yankee fans, let us know in the chat, where the hell do we begin in the conversation? Like, there was so much bad in yesterday's game. I literally do not know where to begin in the conversation. I want to shout out Samantha T, who is in the building. Shout out to Samantha T. But again, it started out with Judge. You know, Glaber with no brime on Twitter, Shaquan says, I love Aaron Judge for all the moments he's given us, but I don't think we will ever forget this postseason. It tainted his MVP and it tainted his legacy. Grace, lead the convo, Grace.
I said to my husband the other night as I was venting, God bless my husband, y'all. He has just been listening to me scream.
Shout out to the hubby.
And I know y'all believe me. And, you know, anyway, I said
Wait,
to my
hold on.
husband.
But just so everybody know, when I sent the link, when I said good morning in our group chat, the first thing Grace said, I have nothing nice to say this morning. I just want everybody to know that. Sorry, Grace.
I said that there is a real chance. And listen, I'm not a doomsdayer. I'm really not. But there is a chance. I can't believe I'm saying this, y'all. Just hear me out. Hear me out.
Go ahead.
There's a chance Aaron Judge never comes back from this. There is a chance that the way that he let down not only his fans, but his team, it may never leave his mind. He may have the yips, you know, as we say in football, right? His eyes, I mean, y'all, his body language at the plate. I know I'm not crazy. I know I'm not imagining this. This man is a shell of himself. And it's not an isolated incident. This is not just this postseason. This goes all the way back to 2018. Ever since, 2018, he has been absolute dog water in the postseason. And you can look up any stat you want. It's crazy. It doesn't make any sense. Now it's really in his mind because he's never made it to the World Series before. And he had Soto this year. So, well, he had no excuse, right?
Yeah.
And Giancarlo was doing his thing. I mean, and the noise, the paradigm, whatever you want to say, the discourse around Aaron Judge this postseason has been coming not only from the fans, but from all of the media bearing down on him, from having this Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, all this kind of, rhetoric all year about him and Soto, and then doing this in the World Series, the biggest and most watched World Series of all time. Next to with the Yankees versus the Dodgers and everybody who tuned in, this is the most watched of all time, Yeah. And this is what he looks like. He may never be the same. And I'm not joking. Like, I'm not wishing that. Of course, I love Aaron Judge. I love the Yankees. I hope he can flush it, but there's a chance that he may never be back. I'm dead serious.
No, listen, Grace, that can't just be tossed aside and not have any serious thought behind it, because it's 100% true. That happens in sports. We've seen that time in and time out. And I'm worried that Aaron Judge, just like you, it won't bounce back from this, right? Hopefully Aaron Judge today could show some life. If there's one thing that, yeah, we're down 3-0, it's only happened once with the Red Sox beating the Yankees, coming back down 3-0. I get that. I understand that, right? But if you're a Yankee, if you're somebody that's on that 26-man roster, if you have to go out there and play tonight, take it one game at a time. At least try not to get embarrassed at home. Do not let them celebrate at home. Go out there and win the next 2 games. Let them go back to LA and win in LA and celebrate over there. Do not let them celebrate in the Bronx. That's the one thing I'm asking you, because when I was leaving last night, when I was leaving Billy's, the amount of Dodger fans that were flooding the streets in the Bronx, it is embarrassing. It is utterly embarrassing. Like, we built it up this season, 2024. Shout out to Juan Soto, an amazing season, right? Aaron Judge, an amazing regular season, right? Mr. August right now, Mr. September, not Mr. October, right? All of that after the embarrassment of last year, 2023, not making the postseason how the season was, right? After that embarrassment, you go out there, you get Juan Soto, and this is the performance we get in the World Series. This is what we have to see, being down 3-0. This is the performance we get. And now that Jeff Passan put it out there, Grace, about Garrett Cole still being injured, I'll let you speak on that, because that's something that you brought up, not only, on Yankees Morning Brew, but on Yankees Twitter Spaces. Where does the blame go? Like, there's enough blame to go around to everyone, right? Aaron Boone deserves some blame. Nestor Cortez, Garrett Cole, like, you could throw blame around to everyone. Where do you start? That's the question. What do we do in the offseason? Where do we go from here?
Look, if we were getting beat, truly beat, but we were showing up, you know what? I would still be sad, of course, but I wouldn't be so furious. I wouldn't be so frustrated. I would just be like, man, we put up 7 runs, but they put up 8, and it was a powerhouse game, and, we lost to the all-time Dodgers. Like, you know what I mean? But that's not what's happening. That's not what's happening. It's like you said, Hector, you're great season, but then you embarrassed us. It's humiliating. And it's not because you're losing. It's because of how you're losing and how it looks, right? I mean, Verdugo hit a home run last night, a 2-run homer, and the dugout was like this. Yeah,
the body language is horrible.
People paid. Oh, let me say this. This is
Go
a
ahead.
tangent, but just come with me right now. Give me 1 minute. I said to my husband, I want to go to the World Series. Can we please go to the World Series? Like, we haven't been in 15 years. I really want to go. Like, it means a lot to me. My husband said, we can. I live in Texas, y'all. So we'd have to fly there. We'd have to get a hotel. We'd have to get Ubers. We'd have to get plus the tickets. I mean, we're talking about a lot of money, right? And he said, we can, but if we do, we can't take a vacation next year. And I considered it. That's how much I love the Yankees. I actually considered it. But here's the thing. People did that. Some people did that. They canceled their vacations. They drew money out of their savings account. In this economy, they bought flights and hotels and tickets. The tickets were an average of $1,500 last night for one ticket. If you had 2 people or 4 people, are you serious? And this is what they did? This is what they did? It's insulting. Not even cheering for a 2-run homer. These people paid so much money to come cheer for you because we love you. And you look like you don't care. Like you're not trying, letting fastballs go middle right by you, not even swinging the bat.
Aaron Judge so far in this World Series. This is just the World Series, right? 12 at-bats. He only has 1 hit, that 1 hit being a single. He has 1 RBI, which was a sacrifice fly, and he has 1 walk. He has 7 strikeouts. So more than 50% of his ABs he is striking out, right? I get it. There are other holes in the lineup that need to take blame, but it all starts at the top, and then it trickles down. Aaron Judge, he's our captain. It starts with him, and then everybody else is held accountable, right? Anthony Volpe, credit to Anthony Volpe for having an amazing run in the postseason. He has looked amazing. Austin Wells, he has struggled. Has Austin Wells struggled? Absolutely, at the plate. So many opportunities with runners in scoring position. He definitely struggled, right? Jazz Chisholm, in the first 2 rounds, ALDS, ALCS, was horrible, disgusting. He had a horrible error in yesterday's game as well that cost us a run early in the game, right? But on top of it, Jazz Chisholm, he has somewhat turned it around in these first few games, like getting on base, being able to use his speed. But it all starts with Judge. Go ahead, go. Sorry about that.
No, you're good, guys. I definitely agree with Grace. I agree with you, Hector. It really is defeating and deflating to see your team just not produce at the highest moments. And I think, like Grace said, you paid a lot of money to come see these guys play and only to get beat so bad to the point where we're down 3 games. And no team other than the Red Sox have come back like you just said. And I think where it starts to blame, it's not even the blame, because I've already mentioned who we're going to blame. But it's just disappointing to me because we not only got scrutinized for having the easiest route to the World Series, not only got scrutinized for, we should have no excuses for having the best team in baseball to go out there and face a team like the Dodgers, but then to not only have all that come back and bite us in the face is not only an embarrassment to me as a fan to see not only the team that I love not even show up. Mm-hmm. And then what really got me mad is when we lost at home. Mm-hmm. How in the blazes do you lose at home? When you have a team that even took the time, right? And the team, and even fans on social media were saying, let's try to cheer up Judge. Let's try to uplift the man. Let's stop beating him down. Let's stop letting him get scrutinized by the media, by everybody. Yes. Everybody's already throwing bones at this man. And I thought that was a good idea because it was a change of pace. I think, who was it? They got that the applauses as well, and he turned it around. I can't remember the player's name, but he had a
Philly.
Trey in Philly. Trey Turner. Thank you. Trey Turner had this, not the same slump as Aaron Judge. I'm not going to try to compare the two, but he had a similar slump to the extent that he was not getting well. And then all of a sudden, a bunch of Philly fans decided, let's try to uplift the man. Let's try to give him some love. And it worked. Now with Aaron Judge, I don't know what monkey's on his back that's not coming out, but he is just not able to figure it out. And as the captain of this team, I look to you and I blame you because you are the man that we expect you to be not only in the regular season, but in the playoffs. And you did not show up, sir. And I'm not going to scrutinize you like the media has done. I'm not going to scrutinize you like everyone else has done. But I will blame you because you are the guy that we expect you to be, not only in the regular season, but in the playoffs. And as the same as goes, you don't produce, people will remember. And this will taint you in some way. Because what you have done here will be remembered in history as a failure, not only to this team, but not only because of you, but because the team decided to just decide, It's over. They had nothing left in the tank, and they gave up.
So let me ask you guys a question.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Before you do that, Grace, I just want to take a moment of pause. We got over 115 people in the building rocking with us. If you're on YouTube, we have over 60 people. Smack that like button on YouTube. We're sitting on 22 likes. Let's try to get as close as we can to 50 likes on the stream. Smack the like button. Hit that subscribe button. My fault, Grace. Go ahead.
You're good. I want to ask you guys, and it's about Soto because, excuse me, Soto is going to decide what he wants to do, where he wants to go, right? Of course. But putting that aside for now, I just want to ask you very specifically from Hal Steinbrenner's perspective, okay? As a business man, as an owner of the team, not as a fan, I want you to explain to me why Hal Steinbrenner should give $700 million, or however much it's going to be, to a man when he had him this year and it wasn't enough. So you have Aaron Judge. What we've talked about what Aaron Judge did or didn't do, right? You have Giancarlo Stanton playing out of his mind. I don't know how many more times he's going to do that. He's toward the end of his career, right? You're losing so many people, right? I mean, the whole roster will be looking way different next year. But why would I, as Hal Steinbrenner, shell out $700 million to get swept in the World Series? Because we have Juan Soto now, and it wasn't enough. So you can't make the argument to me as a businessman that, oh, we need Juan Soto to win the World Series. Okay, well, we had him, and we didn't win a single game. I mean, I know it's not over, but I mean, come on. But you know what I mean? Like, as a businessman, that doesn't make sense in business wise, because I have to take my money and build a whole new roster. You know, Anthony Rizzo's going to be gone. I mean, I won't even go into all that, but do you see what I'm saying? From his perspective, why would he do that? I think Soto's gone. I mean it. I think Soto's gone.
No, I don't think Soto is gone, and until it happens, until that notification come across the board, I don't think Soto is gone. And this is my argument, not my argument, my response, and I'll toss it over to Ghost. If you let Juan Soto leave, your team is worse than what it is right now. There's no way that you could. There's no mathematical equation that you could put together saying that's reasonable. Saying let's let Juan Soto walk away. Use the $60 million per year we're going to use to sign Juan Soto and split that up into 3 players. There's no Juan Soto is the #1 free agent, right? And I brought up the free agent list just for this conversation for today, because let's go through this. Because I see a lot of people online saying we should use that money that we're going to re-sign Soto and we should split that up between 3 players, 2 players. There's not that many good players available in free agency. So first base is a priority, right? These are the free agent first basemen. Let me know which one that you will want instead of re-signing Soto. Christian Walker, who's 34 years old. Pete Alonso, who's 30 years old. Carlos Santana, who is 39 years old. Paul Goldschmidt, 37 years old. Ryan O'Hare, 31 years old. Justin Turner is 40 fucking years old. Wilmer Flores, 33 years old. Joey fucking Gallo, 31 years old. Anthony Rizzo, 35. Josh Bell, 32. Reese Hawkins, 32. Garrett G.I. Joe Cooper, 34. Yuri Gurriel, 41. G-Man Choi, 34. Roddy Tellez, 30. Which one of those free agents are you guys jumping out the window to re-sign?
Here's the thing.
Hold on. Let me keep going. Let me just keep going. Third baseman, Alex Bregman, 31 years old. Eugenio Suarez, 33 years old. J.D. Davis, 32 years old. Yohan Moncada, who missed this entire season, 30 years old. Gio Urshela, 33. Jace Peterson, 35. Now, that's first base, third base. 2 positions that we need to fill this offseason. Now, let's go to left field because Verdugo's the fuck out of here. Tyler O'Neill, 30 years old. Jerickson Profile, 32 years old. Mark Canna, 36. Michael fucking Conforto, 32 years old. Alex Verdugo, we don't want him back. Tommy Pham, 37. Rob Resnider, the former Yankee great, 34 years old. Travis Janikowski, 34. Austin Slater, 32. Adam Duvall, 36. David Peralta, 34. So out of everybody that I just named, who are the 3 players that we are going to sign and let Juan Soto walk away from?
I hear you, but what I'm saying is that's a fan perspective. You know, I think from a business perspective, if he's going to pay all this money to put all the eggs in one basket, the Juan Soto basket, of course, there's not anybody that even approaches the Juan Soto playing level. And as a fan, I want him back. We all want him back. We all love him. He needs to be here forever, of course, as a fan. But I'm saying as a business person, from Hal's perspective, if he's going to put all this money in one basket, he did that this year, or he had that this year. And Juan Soto was healthy all year long. He only missed 4 games all year, and it still wasn't enough. So he has to improve the rest of the roster. If he gives him $700 million, which is whatever. I mean, give him $1 billion. I don't care. But it's putting all your eggs in the Juan Soto basket again. And if something were to, God forbid, happen, then really the team would be. I mean, it's just, I don't think it makes business sense. I mean, I want him back. I do. But I don't see how, I don't know.
From a business perspective, I'm going to just lay it out right this, and I'll get Ghost take, because I want to get Ghost take on it. From a business perspective, after 2023, when the Yankees missed the postseason, right? After the World Series was over, before the winter meetings happened, right? More than 50% of season ticket holders for the Yankees did not renew their season tickets. More than 50% of season ticket season ticket holders did not renew their season tickets, right? The moment the Juan Soto trade was announced, that changed like that, and they all renewed their season tickets. So from a business perspective, Juan Soto, his 700, 800, 900 million is going to pay itself back in dividends, because your jersey sales are going to go through the roof. The chicken tendies are going to go through the roof, right? The season ticket sales will go through the roof. If you allow Juan Soto to walk and go sign with the Mets, you are announcing to your fan base that you have given up on trying to win baseball games.
Good point. Great point, Hector.
Go ahead, Ghost. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Again, we got over 123 people in the building. If you guys can, please smack that like button for the y'alls, as Grace says. Go ahead, Ghost.
I have to look at it from both perspectives. I'm going to be that guy, and I'm going to make it short and sweet. I would not blame this man for not wanting to come back after this deficit. Do you really blame him? Do you, as a human being, as a fan of Juan Soto, would you even be mad if he left after this? After not only not making it to the World Series, but getting swept. That's one. Now, on the positive side, every Yankee fan that I can tell, every Latino that loves this man, would do anything and everything to have him come back as a Bronx Bomber. He is a walking, talking dollar sign. This man brings in revenue like no other player other than Aaron Judge that brings that kind of revenue, and of course Garrett Cole. But from a perspectable point, he is a walking, talking dollar sign. Now, if you allow him to leave, you are not only admitting that you are defeated, you are not only admitting that you have nothing left in the tank, you are now admitting to Yankee fans you have nothing more to give if he walks out of that stadium. Now I look back at it at the human perspective. I'm hurt. I'm defeated. I am deflated because I have just witnessed my entire team not produce a damn run, a damn hit, or any kind of anything to give me reason to come back here next season to do this all over again. Now, as a Yankee fan, now if you're talking to the fan in me, I would do everything in my power to bring that man back and then some. Give him $1 billion. I don't care. Break your bank, Mr. Hal Steinbrenner. Break the bank. Give that man the Shohei Ohtani money. But obviously, it's not good. You have to. Now, the highest I think, Grace, it's going to go, it's $625 million. That has to be the standard of what you're going to do to bring a Juan Soto back. That's the only way you're going to bring him back.
I just said 700 because that's what Jazz said.
No,
don't know
you're
the
pretty
number,
close.
but you know what?
No, you're pretty close.
I think you guys both made great points. I think that
And just know we're all fans, and this is not
of
like,
course.
and we're just having a great conversation,
Yeah,
right? So I don't want
course.
anyone out there, that's why everybody's take is respected, right? No one is talking over the next person. My take is not more valid than Grace's or Ghost. We're all just Yankee fans disappointed because we want our team, and we know the level that this team can perform. We're just not there. So I don't want anybody to think we're having a back and forth and this is disgusting and we don't like each other. No, this is just a spirited conversation between Yankee fans. Grace, I love you. You're the bestie.
Love you.
These are my
love
friends,
everybody.
man.
One of the things that is so wrong with America, and I'm not making this political, but it's just we can have different points of view and still respect each other and still talk and still, be interested. What's your point of view? Huh, that's interesting. This is my point of view. What do you think about this? And then at the end of the day, we're all still friends. So don't worry about it. But yes, with respect, of course, always, y'all know how I feel. Y'all know my heart. But I just said, I think that Ghost's point, and piggybacking on what Hector said as well, is that after this embarrassment that has been in the World Series, maybe Hal will feel a certain pressure of damage control. I think, I mean, I'm kind of building on y'all's point that you made, that if he doesn't have Soto, what are the ticket sales going to be for? They're not, no offense, they're not going to be for Aaron Judge. You know what I'm saying? People are butthurt about what he's done. What's gonna get people to buy the season tickets, like Hector said, and you know what I mean? And getting Juan Soto would do that. So maybe he'll be inspired to do that damage control, to say, hey guys, I know we got embarrassed, but watch this. I'm about to get Juan Soto his bag. He's gonna be here. We're gonna build off this year. We'll be back. We'll be back soon. If he doesn't, then all the Yankees fans will be apoplectic. Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Grace, not only if he doesn't bring back Juan Soto, but if he allows Juan Soto to sign in Queens, that's a dagger that Yankee fans, I don't think, will be able to recover from. That's the ultimate level of embarrassment. Not only did we get swept in the World Series by the team that beat the New York Mets, we lost arguably our number one performer in the postseason to our rival in Queens, the New York Mets. I want to shout out some super chats, and I'll throw it over to Ghost. Theo AA with the $1.99 super chat, helping us keep the lights on. He says, if Soto's money is too high, are we better signing 2 for 1? Absolutely not. We need to re-sign Juan Soto. AA said, let's remember number 99, no World Series. AA, I love you, Theo. AA with another $1.99. Why the funeral? It talked 4 dubs. It takes 4 dubs. Theo AA, love you.
Hector went on mute. Everything got a little too real there. It takes 4 W's, but as Hector said, and this is just the truth of what's happened. It's never been done in the World Series. Never. It's been done in the ALCS. When a team one time has come back from a 0-3 deficit, one time in the ALCS, it's never been done in the World Series. Never. So, I could win the lottery today. I could go buy a ticket and then I would be a billionaire. Y'all never see me again. Yeah, I'd be on the beach in Jamaica. I wouldn't be subjecting myself to getting swept in the World Series. Maybe I'd buy the team. It could happen. But is it going to? No.
Listen. This is one thing I want to say, right? Shout out to our friend Erica Garcia in the chat, because LI Yankee King says, I'm going to laugh when Yankees dynasty starts in 2025. And Erica says, I agree, LI. When Erica is agreeing with LI Yankee King, hell has frozen over. The world is not right. The polar shift on the planet Earth is not aligned properly. Shout out to Erica Garcia, who was at the game last night. Shout out to you, Erica. Even though we lost, being able to check off going to see the Yankees in the World Series from your bucket list, that right there, I know you enjoyed that experience. Myself, I've never been to a World Series game. I've never been outside of Yankee Stadium while the World Series is going on. So even though we lost, Shout out to everybody that showed up to Billy's. Shout out to my guy Jake from the Bronx Zoo, who has been holding it down at Billy's with Keith McPherson with the watch parties they've done this entire postseason, from the ALDS, the ALCS, to now the World Series. I get it. We want to see our team win, but like Ghost started off this conversation, I am happy not only to be a Yankee fan and to be a Yankee content creator, but to say that I've met one of the best and most sincere human beings I've ever met in my life, and that's Grace, and that's Ghost, and that's everybody else that participates in the open panels. My friend Erica Garcia, our friend Richie Rivera online, the people that we interact with on Twitter, Uncle Tats, NFE, everybody in this community, Jason 161 River Ave, my guy Joe from the Shift, NYU, everybody that contributes to making Yankee content, that contributes into these conversations. Even my guy, Li Yankee King, I love you, you handsome bastard. Even though I don't agree with 99% of the shit you say out your mouth or type on Twitter, just know Li Yankee King, he is a treasure in this fandom, and I will go to war against anyone trying to downplay or talk dirt on my guy, Li Yankee King. Appreciate Li. Appreciate Ultra Cowboy fan LB Hector Cruz. It's not over. It's not over. The Yankees, we got another game tonight. We'll be back tomorrow. No matter the outcome of the game, we'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully, we could be back Thursday as well. But there's going to be a lot of changes this offseason, regardless of the outcome, regardless of the, miracle happens on 34th Street or miracle on 161. There are going to be a lot of changes that happen during the offseason. Joe McFly, he put it up on Twitter last night. The Yankees are lifeless. They have shown zero fight, came all this way to do this. This is an organizational embarrassment and deserves every criticism that they get. I don't know what to say. I love y'all, even the ones who don't like me. We all want the same thing. Number 28. This is a joke. And I bring that up to ask, who gets the blame? Where does the blame fall on? Somebody has to fall on the sword after this World Series. And unfortunately, Brian Cashman, he ain't going nowhere, right? So that's one thing Yankee fans got to know. The person that will most likely fall on the sword will be Aaron Boone, will be that coaching staff, will be Miggy Rojas, the third base coach. Shout out to my guy, Anthony Rivera from Subway to Shea. He's a Met fan who said, Luis Rojas making a mistake? Boy, I wonder where I've ever seen that before. Shout out to my guy, Anthony Rivera, and Subway to Shea. But Grace, who falls on the sword and why?
I don't think anything is going to happen to Aaron Boone. I think they're going to extend him because he hasn't been this far since his first year. Oh, wait, no, that's not true. We got swept in the ALCS. Okay, so he hasn't won games he never been this far. He's never been this far. Yeah. Obviously never been to the World Series, but he never even won a game. Oh my God. Yeah, he's not going nowhere. They're going to extend him for sure. The way Cashman was talking about him on the stage when they were doing the award ceremony after the ALCS, I was like, oh, he loves Boone. And he's not going anywhere. They went to the World Series, even though he got completely and totally outmanaged by Dave Roberts from the jump. Dave Roberts has put on a master class of how to manage a team in the World Series in this series so far. Mm-hmm. Intentionally walking so many different people and it never coming back to bite him. His bullpen management, leaving the starter out there with no risk. I mean, he changed the lineup every day. Do you think he would go in and like cry and be all worried about somebody's feelings? No. Freddie Freeman hit a walk-off grand slam. Never been done in the World Series history. Walk-off grand slam in extra innings. And the man put him down in the lineup the next day. That's on managing your team, not managing for your friends or whatever Aaron Boone is doing, worrying about their feelings, worrying about, somebody in the chat said loyalism to a fault earlier, and that's what it is. You think Dave Roberts gives a shit about that?
No.
He's managing to win. He's managing to win, and he's winning. I mean, circles around Aaron Boone. But they won't do anything. Luis Rojas needs to be gone. I said that earlier. I stand by that. He needs to be gone. And it's not just based on the World Series performance. It's based on his entire season. It's egregious. It's been multiple times. And it cost us games in the regular season, and it cost us. Who knows if it cost us the whole game last night? But it cost us a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's got to be gone. And I'm sure they'll probably fire the hitting coach, because this has been a hitting offensive complete no-show in the World Series. So they'll probably fire the hitting coach, but Aaron Boone will be safe. Brian Cashman will be safe. That's my opinion.
Yeah, because if you look at it, right, and they're gonna have the same argument. It's an upgrade from last year. We did better this year than we did last year. So when it comes down to an improvement, this is an improvement to what it was last year. Not making the postseason and then going to the World Series, even though we're on the verge of being swept, it is an improvement, and that's what the Yankees are going to lie they hat on. That's the excuse. We'll go to Yankee fans. We should get ready to start hearing that. It's going to be the same copy and paste excuse. I want to shout out some super chats. My guy Ruben with the $2 super chat. My guy NYY News El Numero Uno Ruben in the building. Ruben, my guy, mi hermano de la isla. Ruben says, headed into work. Nice catching you live today, Ruben. I hope you doing well. I hope El Bordy is doing well as well. We got to link up. We got some off-season stuff it looks like we got to talk about with the Yankees. So shout out to my guy Ruben, and shout out to El Bordy as well. If you guys can, make sure you guys go and follow Ruben on NYY News, Felix, and El Bordy, El Don Sicario as well. They do an amazing job when it comes to covering the Yankees. And then Chris with a $2 super chat. Should Judge be moved out of the 3 spot today? We'll put that on pause. I'll let Ghost respond to who gets the blame, and then afterwards we'll talk about that, Chris. And shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Like I said, we got 123 people in the building. We're sitting at over 60 on YouTube. So if you guys can, smack that like button. We are 17 likes away from 50. So we got enough people in the building to make it happen. So smack the like button. It's free. All you got to do is take a little bit of energy, move your mouse, bingo, bango. It's done. Go ahead, Ghost.
Yeah,
the next
the blame
content will be coming back, Cheesy Soul Cakes. Just be on the lookout. The next content will be coming back. Go ahead, Ghost. My fault, bro.
No, you're good, man. I already said who's going to get the blame. I've already said who's going to get the sword, the dagger, the fire. I think I said this before in the beginning of the season. I will forgive Aaron Boone if he wins a World Series. You guys remember that? Okay. I'm not forgiving him. Ain't no way in hell I'm going to forgive him for this. So he better not be here next year. He better hope and pray I don't see him. And again, it's just a joke, guys. Don't take it serious. I'm not going to strangle the man. I gotta let everyone know now, because now they think I'm gonna go to New York and strangle people. I'm not gonna do that.
No, this is not the movie Celtic Pride. If you guys remain, when Damien Wayans was a player on the Utah Jazz and the 2 Celtic fans kidnapped him, Ghost is not gonna do that. That's not gonna happen. Only in a video.
No.
Go ahead, Ghost.
Yeah, so I think he needs to be gone. Same with Rojas. But I do want to curveball it here and say this: you want to make Yankee fans happy? Do you want to make Yankee fans believe again? Don't let Soto walk out that door. Don't let that man even breathe out of that door. You give him the biggest check you can think of. You give him as much money as you think he deserves, which I think it's going to be $47 million a year. Don't even think about it. You just put your name here, check, give me a number. That's all you have to do, Hal. That's all you have to do to make Yankee fans get back on your graces. And if you don't do that, you're going to see some people say some nasty things that I'm not going to say. But they're going to be furious if you don't do something. So that's the only take I have on that. Because at the end of the day, we already know who's going to get the blame. It's whether or not the Yankees make the decision to fire these people is a whole different story.
Yeah, and I see, Grace's points are valid, Ghost's points are valid, people in the chat points are valid, but I gotta agree with Erica, right? I'm sorry, but to me, Judge gets the blame. He gets the blame for not coming up in big time situations, not setting the tone early in the first inning when Juan Soto gets on or when Gleyber Torres gets on. And every game, first game, second game, third game, either Gleyber Torres or Juan Soto gets on in that first inning, and Aaron Judge cannot either move him over, bring him in, or drive it into center field, or drive it into the gaps, I should say, right? So for me, yes, we could talk about Boone, second guessing Boone. Right, we can look at Nestor Cortez coming in the game, not pitching in a month, and that's bad. Absolutely, yes, we can look at that's a bad decision, right? Garrett Cole not being 100% healthy, trying to pitch through that. Yes, we could blame that, but if Aaron Judge was to just be 50% of what we got from Aaron Judge in the regular season, 50%. We would not be down 3-0. We would at least won 30%. One game. If we get 20% of Aaron Judge, 20%. We are not having this conversation. There's not one team in the history of baseball that's able to that has won a World Series with their number one performer performing the way that Aaron Judge is. He's hitting below 100, 80 something. He's hitting highway, freeway, express numbers. This is what the numbers that Aaron Judge is doing right now. No team in the murderer's row. Right, the 1998 Yankees, no team is going to be able to overcome that. If Aaron Judge is able to perform just a little bit, we would not be having this conversation. It would not be doom and gloom. But when you have Aaron Judge, who is our $300 million man, who is our captain, who is the driving force from this offense, when he disappears, you can see why teams are pitching around Juan Soto. Even with the Dodgers pitching around Juan Soto is still able to impact the game a little bit. And when you have that big of a black hole in between Juan Soto and in between Giancarlo Stanton, you're putting unwanted pressure or unneeded pressure on the other hitters to step up. You're putting pressure on Chisholm. You're putting pressure on Volpe. You're putting pressure on Wells, Verdugo, on everyone else when Judge is not performing. When Aaron Judge performs, everybody else, that pressure's not there. Jazz Chisholm is not feeling like a million eyes are watching him with every at-bat. Austin Wells isn't nervous behind the plate. Or Anthony Volpe, give him credit. He's killing it right now. But all that pressure goes on players when it's unneeded if Aaron Judge cannot perform.
Yeah. But to be fair, Erica, the question wasn't whose fault is it? It was who's going to get fired? Who's going to fall on the sword? Obviously, we can all agree that it's Aaron. Unfortunately, it's frustrating. And everyone on this panel, I'm just going to speak for everyone right now. Everyone on this panel loves Aaron Judge. Yes. We have been defending him in the beginning of the year when he was in a slump, and people were talking wild, like he needed to go back to AAA. And we stood up here and we defended him. And Damien picked him to be the World Series MVP before the World Series started. We have steady been having Aaron Judge's back. Okay, so with that being said, of course, it's Aaron Judge's. Ultimately, it is his fault. It is his fault. He's the leader. He's the MVP of the American League. The MVP of the American League with no hits or one hit. I mean, of course, it's Aaron Judge, but he's not going to fall on his sword. They're not going to fire him. They're not going to DFA him. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? We just got to hope that he can put this aside and come back next year and be himself again. And I'm afraid. I'm afraid because this is going to follow him like nothing has ever followed him before.
Yeah.
And it's going to be really hard. We're about to see exactly what he's made of.
Don't worry, Yankee fans. The internal review of the Yankees is still going on. Mike Fishman, he's going to fire a few of his analytic guys, and that's going to fix the ship for the New York Yankees. Ghost, are you excited for a couple of analytic guys getting fired? Ghost, who falls on the sword? Go ahead, Ghost.
I think it just comes back down to the analytics guys. Whoever it is going to get the rock thrown at him. I don't know, but I said this before, and I'll say this again. I don't care what you think or what he's done to fix or adjust. in the World Series, even if Boone had a few good series in the ALDS, ALCS, which I'll give him credit. He did great then, but why couldn't he do great now?
That's
Right? So that's kind of my point to that, because yeah, he faced an easier team in the Guardians or the Kansas City Royals, but any given time, at any given day, any of those two teams could have given the Yankees the work, but they didn't. And the Yankees had the advantage at that point and beating them. And again, same could be said about the Mets. We wouldn't be having this conversation if the Mets beat the Dodgers, would we? No, because the Dodgers at least, not the Dodgers, the Yankees, I mean, the Mets gave them a fair fight and they fought. They at least had life. They at least produced runs against them. They weren't afraid of them. They said to them, okay, you want to go? We're going to go. Yeah. And they went to war with those guys. Why couldn't the Yankees do that? Because they could not produce the offense that those Mets did. Why do you think they were considered the underdog, the Amazings? Because they fought like hell to come back from where they were, and they produced offense out of the most astronomical ways possible. In even the most devastating losses that they were about to be handed to. And guess what? Guess who stepped up? The captain did. And Francisco Lindor and Pete Alonso, Jesse Winker. Those guys stepped the fuck up. And I apologize for swearing, Hector, but they have stepped up in the most important moments that they needed to combat everyone else. And they even defeated their rivals in Philadelphia.
Yep.
Can you really say the same?
And we went down a couple runs in the first inning yesterday, and that was it. The team just said, "Oh well, I guess we lost. I guess we lost the World Series because last night might as well have been an elimination game."
No,
because it's never been done before. But it's like what you were saying, Ghost. The Mets said, "Okay, bet. We're about to play some baseball. Let me get the bat. Let me get up there. Let me prove it. Let's play." That's what the Mets said. The Yankees, on the other hand, hadn't even come to bat yet, and they gave up.
Yep. They gave up right off in the series, and I think it goes to show what I said before. Having life when it's important and not having it at all, it shows who wanted it more and who wanted to be there more. Yeah. And the Amazings wanted it just as badly as any other team. And I think it really was right what a lot of the criticism was. The Yankees really did have the easiest walk through the World Series, not only to get to the World Series, but to face a team that can produce runs astronomically. Even in the small spectacle of only producing a few runs, they held the Yankees to 2 runs or less and beating them. It's crazy, except the one where Freddie Freeman hit the grand slam. Other than those, and other than that game, every other game was a close game.
Yeah,
I think we had 10 hits in that game, and every other game we've had less than 5. I think.
Yeah.
I want to shout out some chats real quick. My guy Kev NYC 85. Damn, we really talking about next year? We got a game to play. Absolutely, Kev. Keep hope alive, Yankee fans. Keep hope alive. Ryaka says, why is everyone blaming Judge? Blame management and Cashman. They didn't do enough at trading deadline. Dodgers did. They should fire Rojas, a horrible third base coach. Even with the Yankees not just getting Jazz Chisholm at the trade deadline, even with the Yankees not going out there and getting an extra reliever or extra hitter besides Jazz Chisholm, even with all of that, we still made it to the World Series. And I'm a die on this hill. If Aaron Judge performs at just 30% of what we know Aaron Judge can do, we wouldn't be in this hole right now. We 2-1 at worst. If Aaron Judge, I agree with you, Rakaya. The Yankees should have traded for Kopech. I agree. We should have got an extra bullpen. I agree with you 100%. Even with all that said and done, even with the Yankees not improving their starting rotation at the trade deadline, we were still able to get to the World Series. And if Aaron Judge was able to just perform just a small fraction of what we know he is capable of, it's a different conversation. Mike with the $9.99 super chat. Thank you for helping us keep the lights on. And thank you for helping me with my anime money so I could buy more manga. Mike said, Dodgers about to sweep the Yankees. We'll go hard after Soto. Yankees get swept. We'll say our guys didn't perform to the back of their baseball cards. Do you see the different mindset? Listen, it's one guy that didn't perform to the back of his baseball card, and that's Aaron Judge. When I'm thinking on the season, right? what makes or break this season is not Jose Trevino coming up in a big spot. It's Aaron Judge. What makes or breaks this season is not Alex Verdugo coming up in a big spot. It's Aaron Judge. So yes, everybody else needs to step up and perform. But if the main culprit doesn't, I'm not blaming the other guys. That's just me. Everybody else can see it differently. My fault. I was a bit long-winded. Go ahead, Ghost, and then toss it over to Grace.
No, and I think he to his point, Aaron Judge just had bad at bats after bad at bats in the playoffs. I mean, if he would have had much better at bats, he would have seen the ball better. I think it's just like I said, he has that monkey on his back that he can't get off. And I think the point to that is just, yes, he is to blame because a lot of it could have changed in one swing, one run, one at plate appearance. We could have been having a different discussion. We could have been possibly tied 2-2 against the Dodgers right now, or even take the lead ahead of them in the first game. And I think Jeter made a great point. Once you lose one, the chain reaction starts to happen. And you see that firsthand. Once you take one, the advantage is yours. And I think once they took two, they knew they had it coming and then some. So, it sucks to even say that this is possibly going to be a sweep because I don't want it to be a sweep. I obviously don't want it to happen. But I am not about to put myself through more misery in watching this game. I just won't do it to myself. I can't. I won't. Because at the end of the day, as much love as I have for this Yankee team, as I have it pierced in my heart, the Yankee logo, there is not a wind of energy in my body that's going to allow me to watch that game just to suffer a loss in New York. There's no way. I can't do it to myself. I won't do it to myself. And it's just disheartening to see that. But at the end of the day, I will be happy to see some changes happen, I hope, when this season is over, because this needs to be studied at some scientific factory or some place of some sort. How in the hell did this just happen? I need someone to just, I don't know, somebody needs to document this. This is crazy.
There is a phenomenon that happens in science experiments where they have rats that run mazes to get cheese, right, at the end of this maze. And they study the rats and they use different stimuli to collect data for whatever they're doing. And there's a phenomenon that happens if the rat can't get the cheese over and over and over, the rats lay down and they stop running the maze. And the scientists have to get new rats in because the rats quit. And this is something that happens in experiments. You can look it up. You have to let the rats get the cheese every once in a while, or they will quit. And that's what I feel like is happening to Yankees fans. It's like every year with this bullshit, every year, our offense goes completely silent in the offseason. In the regular season, it's like, oh, we're going to break the home run record, the team home run record. Oh, we're going to have the best hitter in baseball. Oh, we're having, Ruth and Gehrig again. Oh, we're scoring more runs than anyone else. We have the best road record. Blah, 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 blah. Like, you could just add all these things, and the fans are like, yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. And then the postseason comes, and the cheese is gone. Yeah. And the rats, us, are like, yo, why am I even watching? It's like what Ghost said. Why am I doing this? I'm not going to do this anymore because it's the same thing every time. And it's so frustrating, because it's like, am I stupid? Is this not the team I've been watching all year? Because they don't look like the team I've been watching all year, but this is not the first time or second time or third time that this has happened in the last 10 years with Aaron Boone.
Like, I would say, real quick, when it comes to Ghost, right? He's going through it at this moment, not only with the Yankees, but with the Jets, right? Because both the Yankees and the Jets, they're just going through it, both teams. I'm sorry to bring that up, Ghost, but I bring that up to say this, like, I see a lot of Yankee fans, especially young Yankee fans that are like 22, 23 years old, 24, that was so visibly upset at Billy's, like borderline emotional. And I had to take a second to take a step back and realize that those 22-year-olds, those 23-year-olds, the last time the Yankees won a championship were 15 years ago. They were 7 8 years old, not able to enjoy it or fully enjoy it. When the dynasty was going on in the late 90s, I was the same age, 7, 8, 9 years old, 10. I wasn't able to fully enjoy that, right, as an adult, right? In 2009, when they won, I was 21 years old, right? I was able to fully enjoy that as an adult, and in the real world, I was able to go to bars and hang out, go to the parade, and they haven't. Li Yankee King hasn't experienced that, right? He hasn't experienced being able to, Jacob Petruzzi hasn't experienced that as well. There's a lot of young Yankee fans that haven't experienced that, and yes, I'm upset and I'm frustrated seeing what's on the field, but I feel more for those young Yankee fans that are in their 20s that haven't been able to fully enjoy a Yankee championship, right? Oh, yeah. And I bring that up to say this: try being a Knicks fan, because the Knicks haven't won since 1973, right? So that's a long time, right? And try being a Jet fan like my boy Ghost down on the bottom. The Jets are going through it right now, right? But there is a game later on today. Luis Hill will be on the mound. Ghost, I know you said you won't be, watching the game. Hopefully you'll be listening in. Cardiac Nick, he know what I'm talking about when it comes to being a Knicks fan. Shout out to my guy Frederick. Frederick says, Hector, I was 20 when the Yankees lost too. Shout out to my guy Frederick as well. Erica Garcia says, I'm still more upset that the Bronx crowd and that stadium never tapped into the World Series film, man. Never, ever played the role in the game.
Yeah, it's disappointing.
And that's one thing that I started with, and it felt like watching the game, as soon as Freddie Freeman hit that home run, that energy was sucked out of Yankee Stadium. That energy was sucked out of the fans and Billies. And that's what you're supposed to do early in the game. Punch your opponent in the gut, take away whatever momentum you have. That's what the Yankees did in the ALDS and the ALCS, and that's something we have not been able to do in the World Series. Go ahead, go, Grace.
And that's what I'm saying. That was the top of the first inning. We hadn't even had a single at bat yet, and they had already given up. It's crazy. It's crazy. It doesn't make any sense. 2-3 runs is not even a big deal. Like, we can score that? Like, come on. What's going on? And I feel bad for everyone that was in the stands last night for the experience that they wanted to have. And, going back to what I said earlier, when people spent so much money, when you buy a ticket to a sports event, we know that there's a risk that we will lose the game. People know that, of course. Yeah. It's not their first game, okay? But it's the way they lost. It's the way that they laid down. Didn't even give, excuse me, any entertainment value or fight or anything at all to the fans that paid to be there. That's upsetting. And I remember 2009, that was my World Series, right? I was too little to remember all the other ones in the 90s. Plus, living in Texas, I didn't get to watch very many games. I only got to see, in the 90s, I only got to see the Yankees in the postseason. We didn't have the MLB
cable
TV
packages that are out right now.
Yeah, exactly.
They have the Hulus or the Amazons.
Right,
none of that.
right. And so I feel bad. I really do feel bad for all the youngins out there that haven't really felt ownership in a championship team, because it's awesome. And A-Rod is goated forever to me because of 2009. Same. I don't give a rip about anything else, because I remember 2009 and he's goated to me forever. So is Nick Swisher. So is Johnny Damon. So is Robinson Cano. So sorry, I don't want to say it wrong, but everybody who's on that squad is goated to me forever, because that was my team. This was going to be my team too. I've been so invested in these guys, just like everybody else. We wanted it to happen, y'all. They may win tonight. But read the room. It's over. They may win tonight. But it's prolonging the inevitable.
Yeah. My guy Anthony Rivera just said, Grace is right. You want them to go down fighting if they're gonna lose. Go ahead, Ghost. I'll toss it over to you. And we'll get ready to start to wrap things up as well. Folks, we still got over 130 people rocking out with us. We got over 50 people watching on YouTube. If you guys can, smack that like button, hit the subscribe. when it comes to subscribers, we are at 4,449 on our way to 5K. So hit that sub button. Go ahead, Ghost.
Yeah, I think I remember that World Series so vividly, and watching Mariano get the last strikeout and seeing Teixeira grabbing it, and you see the crowd in New York explode.
Yeah.
And I remember watching that moment and remembering that team. There's no feeling better than to seeing your team carrying that damn trophy and seeing New York in blue and white, the colors of the greatest team in baseball, and that's the Bronx Bombers. No feeling like it I've ever experienced. And that was my first World Series at 18 years old. And I remember my uncle and I were on the phone, and he was happy as hell. I was just as happy. We were crying. I remember that feeling because no feeling could ever be replaced like that. Because as a fan, emotions can run high when you're watching a team that you love win. And especially in a moment where clarity and happiness take over. And it was a moment that you can never take away from me. And you will never take that away from me. And I waited 15 years for that moment to just be shot in the face, stomped out, and spat on. And I know they don't know what it feels like to see a World Series win. And I pray that those young guys, the 22-year-olds, the 21-year-olds, get to finally one day experience that, whether it's next year, the year before that. Because I have felt more heartbreak in my life as a Yankee fan, hell, as a Jets fan. I know what it's like to lose. I know what it's like to get punched in the face. I know what it's like to get told you'll never win a World Series, you'll never win a Super Bowl. I know what that feels like. But at the end of the day, it's a dogfight. It's a grind. It's you just carrying that heavy weight that just says you're never going to win, and eventually it'll snap off. Because at some day, or at whatever day that may be, you'll finally get to see glory in New York again.
Yeah. I just want to say something too. I just want to point things out. That's why I said earlier, right? Yankee fans, if the roles were reversed, we would be as obnoxious as Dodger fans are right now when it comes to how they're trolling Yankee fans online. Like, I want to say shout out to everybody that's been hitting me up on Instagram and just been interacting over the past 30 days. My Instagram account has reached 1.3 million different accounts in the past 30 days, right? So it's growing on Instagram. But on Instagram, the amount of Dodger fans that are flooding my comment section right now, it's ridiculous. All I'm getting is Dodger fans. These are all just Dodger fans on my Instagram feed, just commenting on my latest videos, right? And I bring that up to say this, because Erica put it on the chat, right? This is how I feel. I don't want to speak for Grace. I don't want to speak for my guy Ghost. I don't want to speak for Damien, who couldn't be here because he was handling something. I'm not giving up, right? Unfortunately, it doesn't look good for us, right? That's the one thing I want to say. If this was the Titanic, this would be the scene where the captain is in front of the glass before all the water rushes in. That should be the scene right now. If this was the Titanic, I would be one of the guys playing the music, and I'm going down with the ship. I am going down with this ship. And I say that to say this. It ain't over until it's over. Until the fat lady sings, until that cigar is lit, it's not over. But when it is over, I will be crying. I will be an emotional wreck. And I will still be here to have these conversations with you. We'll be back tomorrow after today's game, no matter what happens. Grace, let's get some positive thoughts for Yankee fans. Last words, Grace Monroe.
Positive. I'm proud of winning the ALCS. I've watched that Juan Soto at bat 50 times, and I'm not exaggerating. I've probably watched that 50 times. You know, I wrote down, and I want to go over this on another pod, Hector. I haven't talked to you about this, but I've been keeping track of my favorite plays that we made all season long. And there are some great plays, some great memories that we made. You know, I'm proud of the guys for what they did accomplish this year. Of course, I'm disappointed. We'll probably win tonight. I think we'll probably win tonight. You never know what could happen. Miracles could happen. But if it doesn't, I'm still proud that we won the ALCS. I'm proud of the way we won it with Juan Soto. I'm proud of Oswaldo Cabrera's contributions, even though he didn't get that much play in in the World Series. He was awesome this year. You know, I don't know. I'm really reaching, y'all, but yeah, I'm proud. I ordered an ALCS championship American League, you know, pennant T-shirt, and I will wear it proudly. I will wear it proudly. You know, it was a hell of a ride. You know, what are you gonna do?
I got me my hat from the store, from the Yankees team store, whatever. $65 for a World Series hat. $65.
It looks good. It looks good though.
It looks good. It looks good. Go ahead, Ghost. I'll toss it over to you.
Ooh, well, if nothing else, I got to hang out with you guys for 162 games. That has been the one thing I will hold my head held high as I can get it. But I also want to say thank you to the Yankees for not only showing me that they have some hope, but then deflating that hope all at the same time. And I don't want to be the sourpuss in all of this, but I want to believe, but it's really hard to believe when you're down this bad. And it would take the grace of God and everything else with it and everything you can think of to bring back somehow or some way. I think if you want me to be positive, Aaron Judge needs to wake the hell up and realize that right now, this is the fight that we need you to fight right now. I want you to be David, and Goliath is standing right in front of you. What are you going to do? Are you going to let him kill you, or are you going to fight back? That's really it. That's really just it.
I'm just saying, I got to agree with Erica, right? Guys, stop it. This sounds like a eulogy. Save it for tomorrow if they lose. I got to agree with Erica because as somebody that I am a fan of the art form that's called anime, right? And in anime, a big storyline, and Ghost know where I'm going with this, is the underdog storyline. It's the person trying to fight back. It's the little engine that could, if you want to say, right? So many. There's so many, but that's normally the storyline of 99% of animes that are out there. And I bring that up to say this, right? If you're a Yankee fan out there that is still dooming and glooming, and you're just sitting back, just looming, waiting for later on tonight, just know one thing. Regardless of what happens, you are still a Yankee fan. You still have that NY on your hat right there. You are a part of the greatest sports franchise in all of North American sports. That is the New York Yankees. We have 27 championships for a bloody fucking reason. We have all these Hall of Famers for a reason, because the Yankees, our fan base, the legacy of this team, it breeds legends. That's what this team does. And as a Yankee fan that is out there, do not give up. Let's watch that game. You know, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take me an Uber to where Ghost is, and I'm going to force that bastard to watch the game tonight. We are going to watch the game tonight. We are going to win it. We are going to bring it back tomorrow, and tomorrow, one game at a time. One game at a time. Again, I'm sipping on the Kool-Aid. I know I'm sipping on the Kool-Aid, but we got to keep hope alive. But again, appreciate everything. Talking Yankees this season. Shout out to Grace. Grace, you know I love you. Besties forever. Shout out to my guy TC Stills as well, who started the season with me, but he got a new job, different obligations, couldn't do the mornings anymore. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Shout out to my brother Ghost. Ghost, let's do a Twitter space later on tonight. F that. We're doing a Twitter space later on tonight, maybe 10, 11 o'clock. I don't know. I'll let you know, Ghost, depending on what time. This is, you know what I did after game one, after Freddie Freeman hit that walk-off? You know what I did? I came home. I jumped on Call of Duty and I made some 13-year-old kid in Saskatchewan cry. That's what I did to make myself feel better about me. All right. So if you have a 13-year-old kid that you can make cry when the Yankees are losing, go ahead, go feel better about yourself. But until next time, drink some water, say something positive. I'm Hector.
I'm Grace Monroe.
Ghost.
This is Yanks Morning Brew, and we will be back tomorrow.
See y'all
Shout out to
tomorrow.
Erica. Shout out to Gregory Wayne. My guy KK Cardiac Nix is in the building. Kevin 85. How you doing, Kev? Frederick, salute. 3 capital S's. Cheesy Soul Cakes as well. Appreciate you. Erica Garcia, my good friend. Hector Cruz, appreciate you. Theo Nosebleed, who was here earlier. Anthony Medina. Everybody else, if I missed you, I do apologize. Until next time, deuces. Bye.
You fought well yesterday. Your style is unorthodox.
Scorpio.